right here. And UC Santa Barbara has won the last 5 matchups against UC Davis, including the most recent, which was February of last season. This is the first time these two teams meet this year, and now your starting lineups presented by Ontario International Airport. And take a look at number 40, Elijah Pepper. Pepper, the junior guard, is 16th in the country in scoring, averaging 20 points per game. He goes up against this starting lineup for UC Santa Barbara, led by A.J. Mitchell, the sophomore guard out of Belgium. Mitchell will be on full display this evening. Not a bad time for Pim's pointers, where legendary coach Jerry Pim goes over his pointers for the game.
Well, I think the Gauchos defensively have to keep them from turning the corner and going on the outside, baseline side, either side.
Oh, just Pierre-Louis accelerates and throws it home.
And I think they have to do a good job chasing them on the screens that they're pinned down type screens. And it's very important for the Gauchos to stay with their rules.
UC Santa Barbara, a couple of takeaways early. Norris in transition with the right, he gets it to go.
A couple of turnovers early for UC Davis, and the Gauchos have capitalized on both of them.
This is a Davis team led by Pepper, not to mention T.Y. Johnson, number 2 on this team. He will be a scoring factor tonight, averaging under 6 points, just under 16 points per game.
Good entry into the post, where they have a little advantage height-wise because they had to switch it.
Coach, this UC Santa Barbara team coming off a late game win against Long Beach State on the road. That's a Beach team that is scrappy. They play to the wire, and the Gauchos were able to pull it out in Walter Pyramid, a hectic place to play. And you were there. What were your thoughts on that game?
That was a very good game. It was hard fought, and the Gauchos made some good plays at the end, but either team could have won that one.
Yeah, UC Santa Barbara has been able to close out games very well this season with A.J. Mitchell leading this offense. There's Ajari Sani, who tries to muscle it home, can't get it to fall, and Pepper to run the offense. Pepper works off the screen and then finds the entry into Anigwe. Anigwe splits the defenders, puts it up and gets his own miss. Second chance doesn't fall.
Gauchos come up with a good defensive rebound, but they gave up a second shot.
Have to be able to limit those offensive boards. Good feed over a top from one big man to another. Norris couldn't finish. And there's Elijah Pepper who gets on the board for Davis. That'll happen frequently tonight.
T.Y. Johnson can really push the ball, Max, and he pushed it good that time and created some numbers. Advantage for UC Davis that time.
T.Y. Johnson has terrific acceleration, great speed. He's been an X factor this season for the Davis Aggies.
Screening out on top.
That's an offensive foul that goes against Sani.
That's a couple of plays that Sani's had that are a little unusual for him to try that spin shot inside. I've never seen him do that before. He got tied up on the baseline too there.
Well, he's trying to work a new dimension to his game. Typically a 3-and-D player has tried to find that 2-point advantage as of late.
Really nice drive by T.Y. Johnson. Very quick and a good penetrator, especially going to his right.
Johnson, a transfer from Loyola Chicago, hardly got any production this season. He's been terrific, integral even, in the Davis Aggies' success. Pierre-Louis tees a 3. That's off the back iron.
You used to call that traveling when they slid on the ground. They don't much anymore. If the guy gets on the floor, they give him a break.
So Anigwe had gotten away with one. Pepper, hand in his face. Calvin Wishart might have gotten away with a foul right there. Andre Kelly drives from the perimeter. He's stripped, and Pepper in transition here for the Aggies. Pepper, wow, what an acrobatic lay-in. Aggies on a 6-0
Very
run.
nice. Took it right to him and then spun to the open baseline side.
Elijah Pepper's a 3-level scorer. He's been doing it with the Aggies since his freshman season, where he averaged 9 points per game. Kelly's near shot falls short, and we'll head into a break as UC Davis in the midst of a 6-0 run while the Gauchos haven't scored in 3 minutes of action. After the break, we'll have Davis basketball when we return.
Useless.
And welcome back right here. Elijah Pepper has been great all season long. He leads the Big West in scoring with 20.9 points per game. And get this, over the last 4 games, he's averaging just under 30 in each of those. I mean, he's really been terrific for this Davis Aggies squad. You see that 16th in the country in scoring. And how about it? Seasoned with Pepper. Gotta love that action from the Davis Aggies, number 40. He will be crucial in tonight's success as the Aggies search for an upset over UC Santa Barbara. Welcome back here into the Thunderdome. UC Davis in the midst of a 6-0 run after the Gauchos scored the first 4 points of the basketball game. This is an Aggies team that had turned it over on the first couple of possessions, but then came into their own a little bit and has now found its scoring stretch with the ball out of bounds after the break.
Gauchos have played poorly so far, Max, especially on the offensive end. They have not done a good job of gaining an advantage offensively. That last foul by Kelly was after a bad shot by Kelly. So they got to get their act together down here at the offensive end.
And already UC Santa Barbara has been whistled for 3 fouls while the Aggies haven't been whistled once. So keep an eye on that. Can't get anybody into foul trouble. And once that count hits 7, the Aggies will be at the free throw line for the rest of the half.
Defense, very important to not let them turn the corner and go baseline on either side, and you have to chase the shooters coming off those down screens.
Milling got his pocket picked. Here's Wishart. Wishart navigates through and lays it off the glass.
Good hands by Calvin Wishart that time. And a good conversion on the break. That's how they've scored 3 buckets, is on turnovers.
Cade Milling works off the screen and then swings it back over to Johnson.
Travel, didn't call it.
T.Y. Johnson with the runner. It's off the front of the tin. Three ball, corner pocket. Wishart nails the 3.
Good pass back from Kelly that time. Nice recognition that he was open in the corner.
And the Gauchos have been working smooth in transition all evening long so far, getting those points off of turnovers. The off-balance shot doesn't go. Look at how quick A.J. Mitchell is off the dribble.
He's playing against a very quick player in T.Y. Oh,
Wishart uses the body to create space and puts it into the basket.
Nice move by Calvin Wishart down the lane on that drive.
First personal, first team foul.
Calvin Wishart with a strong take to the cup, and the Gauchos have scored 7 straight points.
Number 00, KK Tong. And number 1, Josh Pierre.
Wishart has 7 points this evening. That's a game high so far at 100 true shooting percentage.
Good start by Calvin, both at both ends of the court, defense and offense. You have to really be leery of the shot fakes that both Pepper and Milling do. They do a good job of their shot fakes.
And that's got to be the key for them. You mentioned that to me before the game, just being able to stay on your feet.
Yep, you can't let them fake you in the air because you can't defend while you're in the air.
Pepper, oh man, just has a sliver of space.
He's tough. He's a good scorer.
Pierre-Louis spins in the lane, lays it off for KK Tong.
Nice pass by Pierre-Louis into KK.
Pierre-Louis used as a distraction there, and rightfully so. Tong was open under the hoop.
Yeah, Pepper's very clever. He gets into good spots for his own shots.
He's been doing it for a few years under head coach Jim Less, who has really been able to develop such a terrific young player and scorer in Elijah Pepper.
Yep. Miles got too far under and didn't have any place to go with it. Yes.
You saw T.Y. Johnson working downhill right there. Coach, do you call that a good foul?
No, it's a bad foul because he chicken-chested him instead of moving his feet. And you got to move your feet to stay in front of people. You can't make contact and chicken-chest him, and that's 4 fouls for the Gauchos already. Not a good sign.
Stack, Eli, stack!
Travel.
8 on the shot clock. Pepper works against A.J. Mitchell. Pepper takes him dancing. The 3 ball is
very
good.
Nice. Very nice move. Very nice. He can really score. See why he's averaging 29 points the last 4 games.
Not to mention he's shooting near 60% during that span as well.
Bad foul.
Pepper open for 3. Couldn't do 2 in a row.
That's a foul on number 10. Over the top on A.J. Mitchell.
Leo DeBrule called for the foul.
Easy call.
We'll go into the break here as Jim Less is looking for an explanation. UC Santa Barbara will have the ball when we continue.
The Big West is back in Las Vegas. Don't miss the 2023 Hercules Tires Big West Basketball Championships, presented by the Hawaiian Islands, March 7th through the 11th at the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson, Nevada. Catch the pulse-pounding action as 20 men's and women's teams battle to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Get the best seats in the house at ucsbgauchos.com/tickets or call 805-893-UCSB.
What a finish!
Welcome back here in the Thunderdome. Jim Les in his 12th season with this UC Davis Aggies team. The program has been really terrific under Les, and he has transformed this squad into a true contender seemingly every year. They play a tough non-conference schedule, but come conference time, they are ready to go to compete for a top spot and a title spot in the Big West Conference. And despite losing, a couple of players, including a guy like Ezra Mannion to the portal who went to Vanderbilt, this team is able to compete with the best of them any given night.
Turn and face, there you go.
Wisher thought about the three, instead elects to go inside. Good ball movement here from the Gauchos.
Yeah, against what we call a bastard defense. In other words, trying to pick up full court and get some traps and kind of just make you think about something else. Kind of a nuisance type defense. Not something that they'll use too much, I don't think, tonight.
That was A.J. Mitchell's first points of the day. Good decision by Wishart not to feed it forward into traffic. Now he steps into the three-pointer. Got another one. Calvin Wishart is 2 for 2 from deep with 11 points this evening. And the Gauchos have struck for 6 of their last 6 shots. UC Santa Barbara up by 9, the largest lead of the evening.
And I think that what I mean by the defense is once you get into the half court, in between the time you're picking up and the time you're defending your goal, you made a transition. It's hard to make a transition into man-to-man defense, so you probably have to stay in the zone. And I don't think it's something that he'll stay in very long.
Have to be able to adjust, especially against this Gaucho team. And Calvin Wishart is playing a good basketball game tonight. You remember, Coach, last year in the Thunderdome, Wishart put up, I believe it was 29 in the first half.
23.
23 it was in the first half of action. So he's capable of popping off. Let me find that game, because, boy, that was a fun one to watch.
Yeah, he had
Wishart.
23 at the half, and I think he only had 2 in the second half. But he's capable.
He's capable.
Question. Yep.
Transfer guard out of Georgia Southern, a leader on the floor.
Okay, after the timeout, still trying to drive the ball to the hoop. Good. The Gauchos are pretty good on the perimeter outside, not letting them turn the corner. Ball fakes. He's going to go right most of the time. T.Y.
Johnson plays with the ball on his
wow,
string.
He came
and
back to the left. Yep.
T.Y. Johnson.
He has 20 double turnovers to the assists, does T.Y.
A 2-to-1
Johnson.
ratio, if you will.
Yep. The opposite of what you really want. But he is quick as heck and really goes hard to the bucket.
A.J. Mitchell falls away from the bucket in an unfriendly roll, pushes transition for the Aggies.
Not a great shot that time by A.J. He caught up on the baseline and committed to the shot before he read the defense.
By the way, for you historians out there, that Wishart game where he put up 23 in the first half was against Pepperdine on December 3rd of 2021.
Lots of screens on the ball, lots of screens coming off the baseline, pinch down type screens. And they run their offense well. They're a well-coached team.
Pepper off on the three-point shot, and the offensive rebound gives him a chance for some second-chance opportunities.
Can't give teams second and third chances. Thank you. One that we can read.
Andre Kelly forward to Wishart. He's the game-high leading scorer with 11. Wishart falls away, feeling his jumper. That's his first missed shot this evening.
That's a shot that he came here with at Georgia Southern. He had that shot.
Looks like it'll stay with the UC Davis
I guess so.
Aggies.
I guess so. It's going to stay. I couldn't tell what the call was there.
Clearly off of A.J. Mitchell as we saw the replay. Pepper off the ball screen. The short corner jumper falls.
You can't trail that going back to the ball. You have to be jumping
Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. and the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. Exclusive access. Top leagues and tournaments. And the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library. exclusive access, top leagues and tournaments, and the biggest names in the game. ESPN Plus. Live sports. Thousands of live events. ESPN Plus Originals. The exclusive home of the complete 30 for 30 library.
I mean, we were getting these kind of stats for the first 12 minutes of the first half.
Honestly, I'm happy we're on air. That's what matters, right?
That's right. That's right. Ball out where?
All righty, everybody, in good conscience, I hope that we are back for good. And that is the scene here in the Thunderdome in UC Santa Barbara, where the Gauchos lead by 5 and will inbound baseline after the break. UCSB has been led by Calvin Wishart with 11, and Elijah Pepper for the Davis Aggies has 13 this evening. He's averaging 29 points per game over the last 4, and Pepper gets the steal and the lay-in.
They scouted this team well, and the Gauchos did not recognize they were overplaying the pass in. KK's hurt.
It looks like KK Tong lives off, so Andre Kelly comes back in. Tong will take a trip over to see Jackson Smith, and hey, this is not a bad time to congratulate the Smith family. And now it is not just a couple, it's a family, as both Chelsea and Jackson welcome the beautiful Chloe Smith into the world, the athletic trainer for UC Santa Barbara. That family got a little bit bigger, and so did the Gaucho family, so congratulations to the Smiths. Norris off on the turnaround, and the Aggies have a chance to not only cut it to 1, but maybe even tie things up here with a three-pointer. Boy, is T.Y. Johnson good off the dribble, and he earns the foul. That's the 7th of the half on UC Santa Barbara, which will send the Aggies to the free throw line in the bonus for the rest of this 2-minute, 51-second span.
Shooting foul, so it's a two-shot foul, the 7th foul, and the Gauchos only have committed 7, and UC Davis 5.
It's a 7-0 run over the last 2 minutes for the UC Davis Aggies as they've cut into a pretty deep deficit, which was at one point was at 10 points just a couple moments ago.
Kind of sloppy Gauchos offensively now. They've got to read the defense, take open shots, keep moving the ball.
Pierre Louis back over to Wishart here. He's the leading scorer for the Gauchos tonight. Wishart back to Pierre Louis. The tough shot goes.
Nice pass by Calvert and a good cut by Pierre. Tough angle.
First field goal for UCSB over the last couple of minutes of action. Aggies have hit on their last 3. Wishart picks it off in transition. Here come the Gauchos. A.J. Mitchell on the assist from Wishart.
That's what happens when you jump in the air. You get your feet off the floor. Now you're looking for somebody to pass to, and that's a turnover waiting to happen.
DeRule works off the screen from Inigwe.
Off the screen, dribble, penetrate, and throw up a bucket.
Elijah
is tough.
Pepper, 17 points this evening.
Yeah, he's really tough. He's got a lot of moves, and he's getting the help from the good screen to get a little advantage, and then he takes advantage.
Pierre-Louis back to DeBroil. He puts it in.
Nice pass. Weak side guy cutting under.
Gauchos with 10 assists this evening already.
Pepper with the ball out front gets a screen, and that's a moving foul, moving screen. That's why the guy with the ball has to wait for the screen to get set. But they move so quickly, that's tough on those big guys because they're coming up the screen for him, and they're already moving on the dribble.
And you saw how difficult it was for Adebayo to cover that ground right there.
Yep, it's really tough for the big guys. They don't know whether to stop or to just slip it or what. So the guys with the ball have to wait for those guys to get set.
You know what? Better yet, that was Inigwe who was called for that moving screen, and he comes off the floor.
I think that's his second foul.
Under a minute to play here in the first half of action. Norris works on the smaller Pepper. Norris has the size mismatch and the bucket.
Yeah, that's not once he gets in there, the size really matters. From outside it doesn't, but once he gets in the paint, that's tough.
Pepper
nice pass.
With a beautiful feed inside. And Wishart met Nico Rochak at the cup.
Quick pick and roll over there has hurt the Gauchos because they do get there quick and they go right away. So, the moving screen is a real possibility, but it's tough to guard.
So at the free throw line here after that foul on the Gauchos, it's Nico Rochak. Coach, I don't know how much you were able to see this young man in person, but hey, back in 2021 during the Gauchos championship season, Rochak was on this squad. He was with UC Santa Barbara, a walk-on player. He won a ring with UCSB. And then he transferred over to UC Davis, where he's played in every game this season.
Yep. He's a good guy, and he's a former player. I think he's a foreign player too, if I'm not mistaken.
Rochak comes from Geneva, Switzerland.
Yep. He was Swiss, and he didn't know the American game, and he was learning it. And good to see him land on his feet. He's a great kid, and very good student too, by the way.
He played during that COVID year, which for UCSB historically is one of the best years that the Gauchos have had in the Pasternak era. Maybe aside from this year or two. And you got to imagine how much fun it was to play on that team despite not having the fans in the stands for the majority of the season.
And I think the Gauchos recognized him, and they were visiting with him during the lull in the play here.
2 seconds separating shot and game clocks. And Davis Aggies get a turnover. That ball too strong for Anderson's liking.
You got to ball fake that pass, and then back cut the offensive guy you're trying to throw to.
Coach Joe Pasternak in his 6th season with UC Santa Barbara. This team might be his best yet. 19-4 to open up the season. And I don't know if there's any sign of slowing down heading into March.
10 seconds. He's going to take him going right.
Inigwe fires from outside, and an unfriendly roll bounces off the tin. There's Norris who heaves from deep, and that'll bring us down to the break. UC Santa Barbara up by 6 over the Davis Aggies. These two teams have combined to hit 8 of their last 9 shots heading into the half, so keep an eye. It'll be a...
that was semi-flop, I think, is what you call that. When you're on your round heels and you're going down before the contact occurs, that should be called.
Yet the whistle blown regardless, and here are the Aggies who look to cut into the 6-point deficit. Pepper with 17 tonight. He tees up the three-pointer that's off the front of the tin. A.J. Mitchell corrals the miss. The Gauchos slow things down here.
They switch that screen there, and that puts a player on.
Kelly goes up near the cup and puts it
what
off
he
the
has
glass.
to do. He has to use his ball fakes and get them up in the air. Good reversal of the ball by UC Davis. Again, getting it to the third side. Open shot. Second shot.
Another offensive rebound gives second chance opportunities. Milling in the corner. He got the three-pointer.
Yep. Second shots. They'll kill you.
How about Kane Milling? Coach, you know the Millings. You coached Kyle Milling
His
back
father.
in 89?
Somewhere back in there. No, 90s.
90s?
It was in the 90s sometime. But Kyle was a big man, 6'7", a little bigger than his son.
And his pops is now coaching professionally in Japan after a 14-year pro career overseas.
Yep. Well, he got away with the flop, but didn't get away with that foul.
UC Davis foul number 4, Christian Anigwe. Third personal. Second team foul. Re-entering the game for the Aggies, number 20, Nico Rochak.
Former Gaucho back in there as a big man to guard Kelly.
Up at it, up. Keep over there, Kane.
Got it in at the last second. Sani will work off the screen. Mismatch here for Kelly.
Yeah, he went behind the screen. That was a good play.
2 to shoot. Norris has to get off the shot. It does!
Yep.
Norris.
I think he had his eye on that shot clock.
The buzzer beater for Norris. It's his 10th point of the game. He's the second Gaucho to reach double figures.
Yeah, that was up in the air pass. Jump in the air and throw. Looking for turnovers.
Oh, Pierre-Louis nearly threw it down. Wow, what a good pass from Pierre-Louis. Didn't try and do too much. He found Norris for the finish.
That was smart. Catch the ball. You don't have to dunk everything. Just get the ball to the open man.
Pierre-Louis got 5 assists this evening. That's a game high.
Oops. Offensive foul and another potential flop.
UC Davis offensive foul.
What I mean by that, folks, is when a player on defense is hit, but he's already starting back and acting jobs occur, kind of like soccer, you know, where they take timeouts by themselves by laying on the ground and pleading for red cards or yellow cards or whatever it is. Same thing in basketball. That's why the flop has cleaned it up a little bit.
Oh,
Very
A.J.
nice.
Mitchell!
Very nice. Nice drive. Excellent drive.
They'll call a foul on the shot, I believe. Yeah, it's got to be, right? That's
yeah,
on Elijah
he
Pepper.
made the shot. He made the shot, yeah. Really a good foul.
Jim Les just could not believe the call right here. You see him bottom of your screen. And A.J. Mitchell, I mean, he's done it all year. Talk about an acrobat.
Yeah,
Mitchell at the free throw line trying to put the Gauchos up by 12. UCSB is in the midst of a 7-0 run.
Entering the game for the Gauchos, number 12, Evans Capruto.
I don't know what's going on.
Looks like we're going to take a look at that last play on the monitor right here. An official review from the officiating crew. That crew made of Mark Fulton, Juan Corral, and Jeremy Dente today. They'll take a look at it.
Well, the three-point play was completed by the free throw by A.J.
I think that the Aggies expected that to be they expected it to be 2 shots. So the bucket didn't count, and then 2 shots at the free throw line. UC Santa Barbara, of course, expected the shot to count, and 1
Yeah, I don't know what the delay was, but thanks.
Thank you, Emmett. The crew at UC Santa Barbara always helping us out, just making sure that we get the right shots. Here's Pepper open among the three-point line. Rochak tried to get it back to him. T.Y. Johnson. Right over the outstretched hand of Norris. Anigwe then rejected by Capruto.
Good block by Caputo.
Capruto got his hand in the passing lane and forced commotion. There is a Jari Sani who lays it in.
Good pass ahead.
And an offensive foul goes against the Aggies as A.J. Mitchell slices to the deck.
Yeah, that was definitely an offensive foul. But, you know, you have to earn those fouls. You can't start fouling before the guy gets there. And A.J. Mitchell stood in there and had some guts and took the call. And that's what you have to do.
Took a hit like a quarterback. Yeah, Mitchell.
Full timeout here, full.
Mitchell hit the deck, and UCSB will have the ball right after this. The Gauchos in the midst of a 9-0 run, up 14 over UC Davis. We'll be right back.
What is the Big West? The Big West is where the Aloha spirit meets California cool. It's a place of unlimited opportunity on the court, in the classroom, and in the community. We're built different in the Big West. We find a way to win with hustle, heart, and hard work. What is the Big West? It's the place where dreams come true. The Big West. Only the bold.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
Back here in the Thunderdome, and how about the UC Davis Aggies? It's their 12th season under head coach Jim Les, and they were picked to finish 6th in the Big West Conference preseason coaches poll. A big reason is because they returned 5, including Elijah Pepper, who has blossomed into one of the best scorers the Big West has seen this season, and yeah, granted, the NCAA as well.
Gauchos 5 for 5 in the second half, and UC Davis is 1 for 5, so that's why the spread now.
Pierre Louis on the right side of Main Street. He lays it in with the glass.
That's a tough cover for, the quickest guy in the league, Pierre Louis, for him to try to cover him. That's a tough cover for him.
Gauchos are outscoring the Aggies 13-3 in the second half of action. T.Y. Johnson creates space and an unfriendly roll.
There's the screen down. Enter the post. And nice move by Kelly.
Andre Kelly, that up and under move.
Fairly quick that time. Nice quick recognition of the defense.
A 13-0 run for UC Santa Barbara. Pepper trying to break the scoring drought.
And I think the Gauchos finally figured out you can't go out and chicken chest him. You got to. Usually the first guy on the floor is the one that gets the ball.
Norris got tangled up with Adebayo for that jump ball.
And I think it's ball out to UC Davis, if I'm not mistaken, because the Gauchos took the ball out to start the second half.
We're going to go to a quick break one more time where UC Davis is down big in an 18-point deficit. They have a lot to cover. Last 15 minutes of action will come up right after this. in the Thunderdome, and UC Santa Barbara has dominated in Joe Pasternak's 6th season as the head coach of these Gauchos. But hey, that was expected. They were picked to finish first in the Big West Conference preseason poll, and a big reason might be because of how efficient they've been. They're 14th in the NCAA in field goal percentage, and tonight they are shooting 7 for 7 in the second half of action. And the Gauchos have ballooned this lead up to 18 points.
What was it, Wishart banging through the screen on a moving screen? See, sometimes the outside guys get called for fighting through a screen when the inside guys are moving some. So it's a tough call for the officials to see who's actually fouling who.
Oh, that throw down from Adebayo.
Terrible defense on the end line by the Gauchos.
That ends a 13-0 run over the last 3 minutes of action. Well, that run was put in place because the Gauchos were able to stop Elijah Pepper. Pepper leads the Big West Conference in scoring, near 21 points per game, as Norris, some English.
That was a fake by Pepper, and they didn't buy it, so it should be a flop.
Well, Pepper hasn't scored here in the second half after 17 in the first. Coach, what are they doing differently as I say that?
Too soon.
Prior to that, what were they doing differently?
Well, they were cushioning him. They were giving him a little bit of cushion on the screens. In other words, not trying to fight over it, going behind, and giving a cushion to him so that they could stop his drives, because he's more dangerous driving the ball and getting 2-point shots or 3-point plays than he is shooting the three.
Shooting one free throw for the Aggies, Elijah Pepper.
He's a clever player, though. I like him. I like the way he reads defenses, and he really competes, too.
Pepper, and 78% free throw shooter, completes the 3-point play. He's up to 20 this evening. He was a 20, 22, and 23 preseason Big West Conference preseason coaches team selection. Mitchell from the elbow, he steps through and puts it in.
Boy, physical drive, that was.
The Gauchos are now 9 of 9 from the field here in the second. And Nigwe falls short on the lay-in. Pierre-Louis up and under, English off the glass like he's drinking tea and eating crumpets.
Cut. Very nice cut. Good recognition by Kelly to get the ball back to him on the cut along the baseline.
Good backdoor look. And he breaks through for a chance at a 3-point play to put the Gauchos up by 19. Could be 20 after this trip to the line.
Very quick cut by Pierre-Louis, and with his speed, he's really tough to guard when he's cutting like that.
Josh Pierre-Louis got his own miss.
Move the ball, move the ball. Screen on the ball.
Backdoor for Pierre-Louis, a similar story. The Gauchos have hit their last 11 shots.
That offside cut is wide open, yep.
Milling to stop the bleeding.
Good man rebound by Kelly that time. He went up with both hands. Got the good board. Wow, that's a foul.
Norris works on the size differential. The right-handed hook, that's the first miss on for the Gauchos.
He didn't get in deep enough
shots.
for that shot, yeah.
And Anigwe off glass.
Yeah, that's a tough cover for Kelly because Anigwe is quicker on his feet than is Kelly.
UC Santa Barbara has 4 players in double figures for the second straight game. Coach, the depth on this team is greater than many even give it credit for.
Don't stop your dribble with no place to pass. Not a good thing for a guard. If a guard, you kids out there watching, don't stop your dribble with no place to go with it. Get a passing lane and deliver it.
19-point lead for UC Santa Barbara. We'll be right back.
Santa Barbara Air Rush is a proud supporter of UC.
Welcome back. How about John Paul? How do I say his last name?
Palmentary.
Palmentary. Oh, he is one of the biggest Gaucho fans there are.
He is.
He comes out to almost all of the games. KEYT it is?
Yep, KYT.
The anchor for KEYT.
Good guy.
And just an absolute rock star of a human. You see Santa Barbara up by 19 here. Gauchos have shot 11 for 12 in the second half alone. Andre Kelly with the hook, it's good.
Yep. Even though he turns that way, he's bigger than the guy guarding him, so he gets an advantage. Boy, tough.
Elijah Pepper has 22 points this evening. It's his 5th straight 20-point performance.
Now he's a man when he goes to the hoop, and he got great control of his reading of defenses. Move it. Stays on one side too long, defense gets too strong. Keep that thing moving, you get some lanes to go to.
Milling in transition here, works against Anderson. That shot doesn't go. Gaucho's now able to push, and Calvin Wishart elects to go inside for a higher efficiency look.
Wow.
Referees letting
There
him
he
play
goes
on
again.
both sides
There
of
he
the
goes
basketball.
again.
As Elijah Pepper earns another trip to the stripe. He's got 22 this evening, and Pepper in the midst of another big scoring performance. This is his 9th 20-point performance during conference play alone. That's out of 12 games.
You just can't pick up a guy that's going 40 miles an hour and you haven't started moving yet. You got to get in motion with the ball. How can you possibly expect to guard somebody coming that fast while you're standing?
Back in 2021, Elijah Pepper not only scored the ball very well, he was also 25th in the country in steals per game. Gives you an idea of what kind of player he is.
Yep.
He wreaks havoc on the defensive end and turns that defense into offense.
Check your end of the game. For UC Davis, number 2, T.Y. Johnson.
They might go full court a little bit more now the last 10 minutes, but maybe not. We'll see.
Josh Pierre-Louis in traffic, and he lost it. Last touched by, looks like
UC
the
Davis.
Aggies, yes.
Yeah, another cut from the weak side was open. Just pretty crowded in there, though.
Pierre-Louis got to get the ball in. Mitchell with 10 to shoot in no man's land. Mitchell with an off-balance two. Pierre-Louis tried to sky for the offensive rebound. Now Pepper pushes.
Stop the ball. Foul. Not a good foul.
Got to move your feet.
Those kind of fouls will drive a coach crazy. When you need to just turn and get back, and don't foul in the backcourt. That's not what you want to do.
For the Gauchos, Miles Norris.
The Gauchos shooting by far their best field goal percentage of the season tonight. It's near 66%.
Yeah, they're getting good shots, and they've converted a lot of shots on the break and some turnover shots, and they're efficient tonight on the offensive end.
And a lot of it has to do with the distribution. It's 17 assists to 7 UC Santa Barbara over the Aggies, and Josh Pierre-Louis has 7 on the facilitation side of the ball so far this evening with 13 points.
Josh Pierre now guarding Johnson at the point. Quickness against quickness.
By the way, Pierre-Louis has no turnovers tonight as well. How about that? Pierre-Louis has been in control this evening as Evans Caputo is whistled for the foul.
Johnson did beat Pierre that time. Reasonably quick off that right hand go to the bucket.
Shooting 2 free throws for UC Davis, T.Y. Johnson.
You got to force a guy like that to try and make a three-pointer before you guard him that tight on the perimeter.
T.Y. Johnson with his 25th straight start for the UC Davis Aggies. He transferred from Loyola Chicago. That Chicago team went 3-0 in games where he scored 11-2 when he played, but he really had hardly any minutes. And he came here and has got near 30 minutes per game, near 16 points per game. And he's been really terrific in the Aggies' development this season.
Miles Norris at the 5 now, and then 4 guards in there, to be honest. 4 guards because UC Davis has downsized and have got guards playing. So Joe Pasternak has countered with 4 guards and 1 forward. See, stop the dribble with no place to go. You can't do that.
Norris turns around. Can't get it to fall. Pierre-Louis there for the putback.
Good putback. Oh, they're going to call a foul on.
That foul goes against Norris. His first personal
foul. Number 5, Miles Norris, first personal, 16 foul.
The Aggies look a bit out of sorts tonight.
Well, they're
UCSB's outscoring them by 13 in the second.
I think the guys are doing a better, well, until then, a better job defending. That's the 3rd time they have scored from the baseline. UC Davis running out of bounds plays on the baseline have scored 3 times. That's not good.
E.J. Mitchell pushed in the back. Instead, he gets the bucket to go. You know, it just looks easy for UCSB on the scoring end of the basketball. 14 for 18 in this half.
A lot of layups. That's what you got to force him to do, shoot the ball outside.
Mitchell pushes pace out to Anderson, and he's stripped.
Anderson got stripped or got fouled, one or the other.
Josh Pierre-Louis returns the favor.
Pierre-Louis is going to take this one.
Gauchos have numbers.
Stopped without a place to go with it.
Sawney open from three-point land.
Move it.
It's a low-intensity game right now. You know, sometimes you can feel maybe a comeback of Bruin or at least a little bit of a fight, but the Gauchos have just been in control the entirety of today's basketball game.
Well, especially in the second half. It was a 6-point game at half, and they were very much in the game, and now they've blown it out a little bit, but the Gauchos executing a little better on offense and getting high-percentage shots.
26 points from Elijah Pepper, 8 from T.Y. Johnson, 6 from the rest of the team. Let me correct myself. Christian Anigwe has 10 of his own as well. Oh, Miles Norris.
Nice help by Norris.
Norris sent it home with a total deny of that package. UC Santa Barbara has dominated in the second half, up by 19 points. Don't go anywhere. The end of this one coming up right after this.
What is the Big West? The Big West is where the Aloha spirit meets California cool. It's a place of unlimited opportunity on the court, in the classroom, and in the community. We're built different in the Big West. We find a way to win with hustle, heart, and hard work. What is the Big West? It's the place where dreams come true. The Big West. Only the bold.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
We're back here into the Thunderdome. Take a look at what's next for UC Davis. They're back with CSUN upcoming, and then on the road once again for UC Irvine. Both these teams will play Irvine upcoming, and this is the rest of the schedule. These two teams meet again on March 2nd, where Davis will host. Yep. So good work for our team to gather you some info rest of the way for the Davis Aggies. You'll see the Gauchos' upcoming schedule coming up in just a bit. Right now, though, it's been all UCSB in the second half of action. Coach, it's been a dispersed effort for UCSB, 4 Gauchos in double figures, but a very concentrated effort for the Davis Aggies. In your experience, what has been more effective?
Well, the better defense always wins, and I think the Gauchos are playing better defense the second half than they were the first half.
Talk about how efficient UCSB has been in the scoring end. Well, the Davis Aggies, on the other hand, it's been a different story. 31% from the field. A.J. Mitchell just
really tough.
Has his way.
On that pivot shot, he's really tough because he gets to the open area. Good footwork. Whoops, there he goes again.
Elijah Pepper up to 28 points this evening.
He is a one-man gang, isn't he? He can really read defenses.
Pepper has potential to be something special at the next level. That said, though, a one-man band can't play it like the Beatles do.
Foul. Yeah, that's... He's left-handed. People overplay his left, and he can go either way. And so when they get beat, they should just cushion a little bit and not foul. I mean, that's the way to play defense, is not foul. That's unsuccessful defense. Reaching, chicken chesting people around. Move your feet.
So, Coach, we've seen every team in the Big West Conference so far this season. And
Yep.
granted, a couple of them one-legged when they come to town. A few don't have their best player. But that said, the competition is fierce. Who stacks up and might give the Gauchos the best run for their money in the Big West tournament?
I'm going to say that anybody on a given night can win, and I really believe that. I think this team, UC Davis, on a given night, if people can't stop Pepper, and if they out-rebound you, I mean, they've got a chance to win against anybody, any place. And I really feel that way about the rest of the conference. And San Diego isn't eligible yet, UC San Diego, for the tournament, but they will be next year. This league right now is pretty darn even. And good athletes in the league and really good coaching in this league. I think up and down the schools, there's excellent coaching and good athletes.
Yeah, the coaching has been really fun to watch as well. I love the game inside the game, and you can attest to that when you compete against so many other good coaches who are so familiar with what you're doing. How difficult is it to switch up your offense based on their familiarity playing conference games against you every year?
Yeah, and you learn what they like to do, and if you just have to do it better. And if you execute on both ends and you do it better, you're going to be the better team on a given night. So, the Gauchos have got a lot of layups here tonight, and so they have been the better team offensively. But the Gauchos cannot stop Pepper, and he's been the better player on the floor right now.
Elijah Pepper with 28 points this evening. Believe that it's his fifth straight 28-point performance. That's a shot clock violation.
Yep, he didn't hit the rim. Use of the left hand would have been good there for Josh Pierre-Louis that time. But he tried to spin it up with his right hand. Not effective. Oh, it's too bad. Wow.
And Milling knocks down the three-pointer, his second of the day.
He's a better outside shooter than his daddy, I can tell you that right now.
So you coached Kyle Milling back in, you said, the 90s. And, Coach, that takes me back to how many players you think you might have coached during your time at the helm. If you could put an estimate on it, what do you think that number would be?
I would say 42 years I was in coaching. So if you have 15 guys on each team and 42 years,
quick math?
You want to do quick math, you do it, but that's a lot of guys.
This is all in my head. I'm not using my phone calculator right now.
Yeah, you're fooling
Around 600, 630, I would say. Does that sound right to you?
And as they go through school, of course, they're there 3 or 4 years.
Sure.
But better than 500 kids probably have I played with and coached in my career. So, you get to know players pretty well. And
well, you know what, Coach? I guess that begs the question: who stands out to you?
Well, the guys that go on and play in the association obviously are great players. But there's a lot of really good players that get a degree and go out and start a business. I mean, this is a means to doing the rest of your life, and that degree in college is important. And having a background of being an alumnus from UC Davis, you get jobs because you're an alumnus from UC Davis or UC Santa Barbara. So basketball is a start, but it's not a finish for most people because, the association, the NBA only gets X amount of players.
It's about building character, building people for the rest of their lives.
And competitors. I think businesses like to have competitors.
And leaders, not to mention.
And
playing a team sport develops you as a leader and a team player, being able to work in tandem with others.
And everybody knows how hard it is to get a degree in college. And if you have endured in college, then you're worth hiring. You have put in your time, and And if you have a personality and you have a background, you're going to get hired.
Listen, Coach, I know how difficult it was for me to get a degree in college when I wasn't going to practice every single day.
And lifting weights in the morning and traveling here and there.
Yeah.
Yep. I hear you.
So, for those non-athletes who go through school, it's already difficult enough, and it's hard to even fathom how difficult it is for the athletes who have the strain of going to practice, traveling for their game schedule, and setting up everything around what comes first. And for some of them, that's school. For some of the others, hey, that might be the sport that they're playing.
Mishandled turnover by Pierre-Louis. Tried to back change. Coach wants a timeout on that. I don't blame him.
In all that commotion, Calvin Wishart, by the way, fouled out of the basketball game.
Yep,
so we won't see him the rest of the way. But Wishart ends his night with 11 points on 4 of 5 shooting. He had a couple of three-pointers, and he had 2 rebounds and 3 assists. On the other end, though, he's one of 4 Gauchos in double figures, led by A.J. Mitchell, who has 20 this evening. UC Santa Barbara has seemingly made it look easy tonight, especially in the second half of action where they're shooting 68% from the field. They're just not taking a lot of three-pointers. Hey, I mean, that's been the idea for this team all season. Don't take as many threes and shoot the 2 well. And the Gauchos are 30th in the NCAA in 2-point efficiency. I think they may have taken a play out of UC Irvine's playbook at that.
Yeah, don't look now, but it's a 14-point game, and there's still 4.5 minutes to go. So this game isn't over, but some people might think it is. There's some students that are leaving. I've been here long enough to realize it ain't over until it's over.
And you can see the urgency for the Aggies. Millings to cut it to 11. He got it.
Yep. And number 2, Johnson, is putting it right by the guys in a hurry. And you can't allow that to go in a hurry. And that's number 2 now is fouling Mitchell all over the place. What's going on there?
Pierre-Louis looks for Sawney. Sawney works at the block and gets it to fall.
The offside cuts have really hurt this team. It hurt Davis a little bit coming from the weak side and cutting to the bucket.
Elijah Pepper looking
there
for 30 on the evening. An offensive foul goes against Pepper. That is his 3rd foul of the evening.
Again, now Kelly earned that. He stayed in there with some intestinal fortitude and took it.
So after that play, it'll be UCSB basketball with under 4 minutes to go. Now, this one might get a little bit more interesting than expected toward the end. You don't want to miss the finish.
The Big West is back in Los
Welcome back here in the Thunderdome, where UC Santa Barbara is up handily over the UC Davis Aggies. It's a 13-point lead for the Gauchos, and this is what's up next for UCSB. They'll be at home versus UC Irvine, and then on the road at Riverside, 2 of the top teams in the Big West Conference, so things don't get any easier for the Gauchos. It is a tough schedule the rest of the way for UCSB.
Yeah, because all teams can beat everybody, so it's it'll be a challenge for somebody to go in and win a game in that tournament and advance in that tournament. So it's all going to be set up by the seedings and who you might play, but it's a very good conference this year. I've really enjoyed watching these teams both here and on the road.
Really can go either way when any two teams meet. So far, the Gauchos have had the Aggies number tonight. That said, though, plenty of time to come back in this one. And that'll be the 11th foul.
It's one way to stop them, I guess, is to reach out and grab them like that, huh?
Number 0, Kane Milling. First personal.
Milling's first personal foul sends
Shooting 2
Josh
free throws
Pierre-Louis
for
to the
Gaucho.
free throw line.
Josh Pierre-Louis.
Pierre-Louis has had a terrific evening with 15 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds.
No, off to the side.
That said, though, 1 of 4 from the free throw line.
Yeah, you can see when the ball comes out of his hand, it's spinning the wrong way. That's better. Backward spin, straight back toward him. Don't foul. But try to stop him.
T.Y. Johnson sent back by Andre Kelly, and it looks like things might get chippy.
Stop it.
Let's break this thing up here.
Stop it.
This is no good for anybody.
Stop it. If you leave the bench in this situation, you will get a expulsion from the next game.
And they're certainly ready for replays. Yeah, you see Joe Pasternak trying to talk to his big man. Hey, let's see if cooler heads can prevail. They're going to take
Easy.
another look.
Easy. Settle down.
This is what we just saw. And off the screen right there, of course, it always happens off the screen. Hey, how about this shot from JP?
I think Kelly had enough of number 2.
Yeah, you saw number 2 and number 2 each had enough.
Number 2's been grabbing and pushing and shoving the whole time.
A fight between those two number 2s, and nothing is fun when a guy like Andre Kelly falls on you.
No, probably not. Probably not.
The folks who got the best seats in the house right there maybe are second guessing where they were sitting as they got caught in the commotion. Sometimes being in striking distance maybe isn't the best thing for your health and safety.
Well, T.Y. Johnson, in my opinion, agitated the whole situation, both ends of the court. But Kelly should have not grabbed him and laid on him. So both of them, they're at fault, I think. But that's usually the way it is. It's not just one guy. It takes 2 guys to rumble, right? 2 guys to dance, 2 guys to rumble.
Yeah, you see that on the opposite end of the floor. Here's another look.
See, he was the guy from Chicago.
Neither of them want to mess or want to take any smoke from each other, I would say. Often do, cooler heads prevail, but in a situation like this, you know, it's 2 players that are playing with their heart on a sleeve, if you will.
Well, they both have number 2. That's on the back of their jerseys. Anyway, it happens. Sometimes you lose a little bit of control, but no punches were thrown. And the people on the benches from both teams did not leave the bench, so they'll be able to play in the next game. And they were able to control it and get it finished. So
UC Santa Barbara cannot afford anybody out of the next game because it's UC Irvine coming to town. That's often the toughest matchup of the season at home for UCSB. You see Coach Joe Pasternak trying to get a good shot, and Jim Les has a look at it too. You know, both of them are just coming over. And, hey, it's a bigger replay monitor today because, oddly enough, somebody sat on the DVS sports monitor that we typically use here. So you see this thing right here? This is a bigger monitor, 32 inches, and now seemingly everybody can see what's going on. Hey there, folks.
A 65-inch TV right in front of us here. We can't see anything.
You know, it's easy to look at the back of the TV and guess what's going on, but we saw it live right in front of us, and it was pretty clear that, you know,
I've seen it in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Sure.
I've seen Johnson in the last 10 minutes of the game agitating with his hands and arms, and he's playing physical. Hey, he's just playing physical defense.
Yeah.
And the fouls have to be called if he's grabbing and holding. But that was unfortunate that they both got together at that time. So right there, see, he goes back into him. And you don't want to get a 6'9", 260-pound guy. I mean, you got to have more sense than that.
I try and slow things down when my little brother pushes me over, much less Andre Kelly. I want no part of that.
Well, that was done. It was done legally. They both just grabbed each other. No blows were thrown. No punches, just grabbing each other. But I've seen a little agitation out of Johnson as we've been watching here. Number one, he's been taking the ball to the basket and killing the Gauchos the last 5-6 minutes.
Sure.
But at the other end, he's been trying to foul.
You know, hey, Coach, we were talking about your history. How about this is a good time to take me back to the craziest rumble you've seen in the basketball game,
No,
whether you
you don't
coached
even
it or
wanna
not.
hear about it.
You don't think I want to hear about it?
No, you don't want to hear about it because it was nasty. It was during the BYU problem with blacks. It was over at Colorado State, and the state police had to come in at one end of the thing and keep the fans and the Black Student Union from Colorado State out off the court, and blows got thrown, and they had to whack people around with their sticks, and it was horrible. But that was in the early days. I was scouting the game, and our team was coming into play at Colorado State, but Brigham Young traveled with us, so I was down watching that game, and that was a mess. That was a real problem.
That was when you were with Utah?
When I was with Utah, yeah. I was an assistant coach at Utah, and the militia came in. They opened the doors at one end of the place. It was snowing outside, and they just came in with their rifles in front of them. A mess, a real mess.
Man. So, of course, this is nothing compared to the craziest of rumbles.
Nothing. That was when they were protesting against Brigham Young, and so it was a mess. And I witnessed the whole thing. It was terrible. I didn't have a cell phone to take pictures, but I can remember a lot of people getting knocked around in that thing.
So luckily no racial tension involved this time around.
No.
Just a couple of players who are playing with their heart on a sleeve.
Right.
And more than anything, they just want to play tough basketball and win the basketball game. And hey, when you play that physically, in a sport that requires physicality, these things happen.
Yep.
So you have to just admire everybody for stepping back, saying, hey, cooler heads prevail, but, you know, let's be a little bit more controlled next time around.
Yep. Both guys, both teams, and you know that the physicalness of this game lends itself to stuff like this. But fortunately, most of the players understand the rules of how to assert yourself and how not to assert yourself. So.
Trying to get an idea of what the officials are explaining to these two head coaches.
Both guys will probably be relieved of their duties tonight. Both number twos.
Which I think is a bigger loss for UC Davis.
Well, yeah, it is because T.Y. Johnson was killing them going to the basket. But Kelly was hurting UC Davis on the boards and inside, so.
Kelly with 6 points, 4 rebounds tonight. T.Y. Johnson, 13 points, 4 assists. It's clear that there's a little bit more angst from this
they're
Davis
trying to
team
figure
than
out
the
if anybody
Gaucho
from the
team.
benches came on. They're trying to decipher, did anybody come off the benches? You know, they have to stay over on the side. I didn't see anybody come off the benches. Now, maybe they did. I didn't see anybody.
You know, that's a big reason why maybe they were watching over it so intently for, last 5 to 10 minutes, because hey, they have to make the call here. Who came off the bench and what the keep an eye on the bench right here. Keep an eye on the bench.
Yep. Let's see if anybody came off.
24, 22, 20 are right there. And they did a good job, hey, holding them tight.
Yep.
Saying nobody run onto the floor.
Yep.
It's pretty clear that.
See, and the coaches were out there quick too, and they have to split it up. They have to break it up. So.
It looks like there will be double technicals here.
Yeah, I guess. Offsetting technical fouls.
We're going to shoot 2 free throws down there, so they're picking up 4. Yeah.
UC Davis foul number 4, Christian Heatway.
Okay, a common foul on 4 blue.
Number 2, Ty Johnson.
Okay, 2 blue ejected, 5 white ejected. I don't know about that.
No, 5 white is still.
I would say 2 blue and 2 white would each be ejected.
Right.
And a common foul on 2. And there's Andre Kelly, who sees his night come to an end early.
Yep. And Josh Pierre makes both free throws. The other 2 negate each other, and here we go, back to play again.
So the Aggies have some ground to pick up. Pierre-Louis went over the top.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was Sonny.
Sonny went over the top.
Number 3,
1-and-1 free throw.
3rd personal, 10th team foul. Shooting 2 free throws for UC Davis.
No, 2 free throws.
Kane Millen.
It's 10 fouls, so it's 2 free throws both ways. 2 free throws both ways.
And they're just correcting on the scoreboard end of things. 2 white was ejected. 5 Miles Norris is here to stay.
2 white and 2 blue ejected. Yeah.
Entering the game for the Gauchos, number 32.
So Mattia Belic will check in for the first time this evening for UC Santa Barbara. 3:07 on the game clock. Pretty clear that this one's not over, but the time dwindling, no doubt about it, especially with T.Y. Johnson out of the basketball game. They certainly don't have the speed to electrify the offense.
But, Pepper can get the ball and take it to the basket, so that's what they'll be doing, and they'll be picking up full court. Yep, that's what they have to do. Give the ball to Mitchell. Let him come up one-on-one. And use your possessions now.
Yeah, they will eat as much clock as possible here as A.J. Mitchell remains at that logo, picked up by LeBron. Mitchell, an off-balance shot that hits glass and goes. He's got 22.
Yep. Ooh.
Ball out of bounds. Possession awarded to the Aggies.
That was knocked out by the Gauchos, evidently.
Another look here.
Offense.
DeBrule had that shot sent back home. Looks like the foul will go against A.J. Mitchell.
First personal.
I don't know about that with offhand push by the driver, but
For UC Davis, number 10.
DeBrule out of Seattle Academy, coming off a career-high 12 points. The Seattle-Washington native, 2 for 2 at the stripe. He's now hit all 4 free throws he's taken this evening.
they're going to run the 1-4 low, we used to call this, and use the time. Used to be a 5-second count when you held it there, but it's not anymore. Screen on the ball.
Mitchell with 8 to go. Sani works it inside for Norris. He can't hit. It'll go back to the Aggies.
Number 1, Pierre came in from behind, unfavorable position, over the top. Easy call.
The Aggies have a chance to cut this one to 12.
Yep. And there's still 2 minutes to play, so that's the...
When you have a scorer like Pepper, you know, you're never really out of any game.
That's right. That's right. That's why I said earlier that this game isn't over.
Elijah Pepper's first free throw he's missed this evening. .29 for Pepper. His career high is 32 on 3 separate occasions, 2 of which this season.
You just got to use your time now, and you got to guard somebody down here at the other end. Screened by Pierre.
So Mitchell takes it into the lane himself. Oh,
right.
man, able to find the sliver of an opening.
Yeah,
24 for A.J. Mitchell.
That's hard to guard when you don't have help.
Elijah Pepper.
Yeah, he can.
The drawn foul again. Another chance to go to the free throw line for UC Davis. They've done that time and time again this season on every possession.
Oh.
First personal.
Yeah, you saw Belic come over for the help.
From Serbia. He hasn't had a lot of time this year, but I've watched him a lot in practice, and he's an accomplished offensive player now. He just needs to learn the American game and learn how to guard people and block out and rebound. He's going to be a good player. Cramp.
Pepper now has 30 points for his second straight game.
UC Davis, number 13, Sam Martin.
If I can. If I can.
Sure. So a 14-point deficit where UC Santa Barbara will seemingly eat up as much clock as possible and take this one all the way out.
Yep. .105, 14-point spread.
Gauchos came in tonight, hit their shots, and played its brand of basketball. UC Santa Barbara with its highest shooting performance of the season as Belic can't hit on the 3. Josh Pierre-Louis tried for the putback and couldn't get it to go. And another foul goes against Pierre-Louis in crunch time. Do you even call this crunch time? I guess it's the final dwindling time.
Yeah, it's the end of the game, but he missed a layup and then went and fouled, which is not what you want. Great activity, really goes and gets the ball, makes a nice play, and then goes and fouls.
Pierre-Louis has 18 points.
No,
8
he's played
assists, 7
great.
rebounds.
He's played great tonight. Don't get me wrong. But
Nearing a triple-double.
That's not smart.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Call that maybe a frustration foul because he couldn't finish.
Yeah, because he couldn't finish the layup. Yeah.
Aggies haven't hit a field goal over the last 4 minutes of action.
Yeah, it's over now, but you know it wasn't over until just the last minute and a half or two.
Josh Pierre-Louis is looking for 20 points this evening. Gomez had to shoot it. That shot does not go. Tough go because you want number 50 to score the basketball.
Yeah,
he
you
only
do.
gets a couple of minutes for the 5-10
He's a walk-on,
games
and he's been here a couple of years. He's a really good kid.
DeBrule knocks home the long 2-point jumper, and that'll do it for us here in Santa Barbara.
Yep,
a 10-point victory for UCSB as the Gauchos improved to 20-4 this season. The first Big West team to 20 wins. UC Santa Barbara.